Hi, this is Guy. And this week, Roseanne and I picked up our brand new Embassy RV in Elkhart, Indiana. We purchased the Dolphin S model built on the Ford Transit. We named our van Amore, and welcome to our new YouTube channel, Amore Van. Before bringing the van home, however, we knew we had a problem we had to solve. You see, the extended version of the Ford Transit has a considerable overhang behind the rear wheel. And this overhang can cause a problem known as an exit angle problem when transitioning from, say, the street to a sloped driveway. It can cause bottoming out of the trailer hitch. Long before we took delivery of our Embassy, one of the members of the Embassy Owners and Wannabes Facebook group was kind enough to bring his Embassy to our house to conduct a test to see if it could get in the driveway. Here you can see the results with the trailer hitch bottoming out before the rear wheels had a chance to make it to the driveway. To address this problem, we decided to have a dealer install a 2-inch rear lift kit designed and sold by Van Compass. Here's how the rear lift kit works. When the vehicle comes from Ford, the leaf spring, seen here with the red arrow, sits directly on top of a bracket that is sitting on top of the axle, here shown with the blue arrow. But as you can see in the photograph inside the green box, there's now a 2-inch spacer that sits in between the axle and the leaf spring. That spacer is part of the Van Compass rear lift kit. In addition to the lift kit, we also had the factory bump stops replaced with the heavy-duty Sumo springs. That's the item in yellow right next to the red arrow. The blue arrow is pointing to a spacer that had to be placed above the Sumo spring because the body has been lifted 2 inches. Because the fully outfitted Embassy RV is quite a heavy vehicle, we opted also to replace the factory rear shocks with heavy-duty Falcon 3.3 adjustable shocks, seen here. Following the installation of the adjustable shocks and the Sumo springs, Roseanne and I noticed that our ride was considerably smoother when going over minor bumps and dips. Finally, we also had installed the Van Compass high clearance shock bracket to replace the factory shock brackets. You can see the red arrow pointing to the replacement bracket here. If you've ever looked underneath a Ford Transit from behind, you know that the factory shock brackets hang quite low to the ground. We didn't take a before picture of our van, but here's a photo of another Transit showing the shock bracket with the red arrow hanging considerably below the sway bar and rear differential, shown here with the blue arrow. In contrast with the Van Compass replacement shock bracket on our van, you can see that the shock bracket no longer hangs below the sway bar and differential. Here's the effect on clearances on the rear end. Measured from just in front of the rear tire, the running board went from 8 inches off the ground to 10 inches. The hitch receiver went from roughly 12¼ inches off the ground to roughly 14¼ inches. And the furnace exhaust went from about 10 inches off the ground to about 12 inches. As you can see, we opted not to get the Embassy driver's side running board. If you have the driver's side running board, your furnace pipe is considerably closer to the ground. For those of you who may be wondering, Roseanne, who is about 5 foot 1 inches tall, had no difficulty getting into the driver's side door without a running board. And of course, the final payoff, here's our trailer hitch happily passing over the curb and safely into our driveway. We'll be posting more videos in the future concerning our Embassy and our travels in it. So if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the thumbs up. Thank you. Good night.